Welcome to MCN, and this is the second update on my Kawasaki ZX 10R long-term test bike. It's now June 2016. I've had this since the end of February, and since then I've clocked up just over 2,500 miles. Now, my mission this year is to make this bike just that little bit sharper. Now, of course, it's got so much power you can't use any of it on the road really, and this bike is much better than I am, but it could do with losing a little bit of weight, and it lacks the instant acceleration you'd expect from a modern superbike. The standard Euro 4 exhaust weighs a massive 14 kilos, so I've got rid of that, and instead I've got an Akropovich system that's not only 9 kilos lighter, but it's a work of art as well. It also boosts power, so it's 191 horsepower standard on our dyno, and it's up to 197 horsepower at the rear wheel. And it also has got a little bit more grunt at the bottom revs, which helps it pull its quite tall gearing. Now, I'm not really one for loud exhausts. They kind of make me cringe nowadays. Even on the track, a loud exhaust won't get you through a lot of quiet days at track days, but that weight saving is quite hard to resist. You notice the extra power obviously, but also the lack of weight now. Just getting it off its side stand, you notice it, and pulling it from side to side on the track, it's much lighter and more agile, and on the road as well you even feel it just riding around. Weight's a killer, as we all know. So now this bike weighs 197 kilos fully fueled. It was 206 before, so it's still no lightweight, but it's got that magic 1 bhp per kilo figure now. Now, the exhaust was fitted by IDP Moto in Silverstone, and while they were at it they fitted a rapid bike fuel injection control module. Now, both of those things are from a company called Performance Parts Limited, and that fuel module is designed to work with the exhaust to give it the perfect fueling. The rapid bike is a plug and play alternative to something like a Power Commander, and it doesn't need setting up on a dyno. It's self-learning, closed loop system that takes its readings from the lambda sensor. Now, it takes around 45 minutes to fit for professionals like IDP. It comes with the standard ZX 10R map. It then takes around 100 miles to figure out the fueling for the new exhaust, and then it creates a base map. From there it constantly self-adjusts based on ambient conditions, or if I were to change the way the engine breathes, like fitting an air filter or removing the baffle. Now, talking of baffles, I've been running the new exhaust with the baffle in. It fuels really nicely and gives you really nice smooth power, and only makes 98 decibels on Alton Park's static noise meter. Now, I've only removed the baffle to see how much power it makes, so when I put it on the dyno it actually ran very lean, but I don't think I'd given the rapid bike enough time to learn the new exhaust characteristics. I'd only done 40 miles. Also, I may need to go into the software to help the self-learning along. I'm not really sure, but either way I've put the baffle back in now anyway, and it runs really smoothly, so I'm really pleased with that. What the dyno did do as well, incidentally, was just send the dash crazy. All the warning lights came on, all the electronics were turned off, no traction, no air bleed, no quick shifter, but luckily it resetted itself after 50 miles. So this exhaust is like a quick fix for a lot of the ZX-10's problems. The performance and the handling is improved, but it's still not quite up there with the best superbikes, but around Alton Park and on the road it's definitely more exciting, more involving, more urgent. The engine's a lot more flexible, noticeably more bottom end grunt. The extra power at the top, to be honest, I can't feel the difference between 191 and 197 horsepower. It's not often you're up at 13,000 revs in any gear really. What I am really impressed about on these bikes is the electronics. A bit like the R1 and the Panigale, it's got the latest internal gyro sensors. The traction control and the anti-wheelie and the quick shifter are absolutely superb. It's just a shame there's no auto blipper, which doesn't come as standard, but if you buy the race ECU or you get it flashed, you can get the quick shifter turned on. Fuel consumption hasn't really changed with the new exhaust and control unit. I'm getting about 45 mpg, and the reserve light comes on around 120 to 130 miles. On track I'm getting a lot less, 26 miles per gallon, and the reserve light comes on at 180 miles. So with just these small little changes, the ZX-10 is starting to feel like the superbike Kawasaki designed it to be before the Eurocrats got involved. But there's still more to come. The braking performance isn't the best, which can only be down to the ABS system, because Brembos like these, normally you squeeze the lever and you're through the screen before you know it. So my plan is to get a dongle from Kawasaki which disconnects the ABS for the track, and also to try some different pads. I'd also like it just to steer a little bit nicer, so I'm going to do some suspension tweaks to it next time I get to a track as well. And I also want to make it a little bit more comfortable. It's very cramped in the leg department. I can either do that with rear sets or a taller seat. But overall, after 2,500 miles, so far so good. Really good quality bike, and you notice that when you're cleaning it. The plastics are thick, the paint finishes are really good. It's got nice little detail touches like the captive nuts. When you take the screen off, you don't lose the nuts down the back of the clocks. So that's really easy to fit. That's from skid marks, that screen makes a big difference to wind protection. And the tail tidy, got an R&G tail tidy, and that was one of the easiest to fit. Really nice to take the back end apart of this and put it back together. It took no time. Tyres have changed. Comes with RS10 Bridgestones as standard, which got no problem with at all. But on track they take a little bit long to warm up. They don't really have the ultimate grip of its competitors. But Bridgestone tell me that because these are original equipment RS10s, they're not the same as the RS10 you'd buy from a shop, and they would generally have more performance. But what I have done is fit Racetech RR K3 compound Metzlers. Took the Bridgestones off at 1,350 miles incidentally, and they're still perfectly round, loads of grip, loads of life in them. But the Metzlers got a noticeable difference in plushness, better ride quality, more grip, warm up really fast. The durability is really good. Last year on my R1 I did 3,500 miles riding it to Ibiza and back, and the tyres were still good. So I've still got loads of stuff planned for this over the summer, a few more tweaks, a couple of nice rides. I'm riding to the Saxon Ring to take part in the World GP Legends event, so I'm going to ride there, stop off at the Nürburgring on the way and Spa on the way back. Got an MCN track day booked in the middle of June, and generally I'm just going to keep on having fun with the old girl.